Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to Baseball's Back right here on the Hamptons Collegiate Baseball League's YouTube channel, powered by the Eastern Observer. I'm Joey Jarzynka. Cannot thank you all enough for joining us here on this fantastic Thursday evening. We are joined by the Hamptons Collegiate Baseball League Commissioner, Sandi Kruel. Sandi, thank you very much for joining me here this evening, and welcome back to Summer League Baseball. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? It's great to be back for baseball, let me tell you.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And for those that do not know, the Hamptons Collegiate Baseball League is located out, obviously, on the eastern end of Long Island. 6 teams will be participating in a fantastic duel this year. It's going to be between the West Hampton Aviators, Riverhead Tomcats. It's going to be, let's see, who else do we have here? The North Ospreys. Yep. We got a whole bunch here, the South Shore Clippers, and many more. So, Sandi, last year, 2020 season did not happen. The last time we saw Summer League Baseball in the Hamptons was 2019, with the West Hampton Aviators taking the title, their fourth one since their inception. Talk about what a no season last year meant for you personally and for the Hamptons Collegiate Baseball League.
You know, it was a very unrealistic feeling of having to call up 225 kids who had their hopes set of getting on the grass and being able to just throw a baseball and say, I'm sorry, but we can't do it this year. And as I speak to you, I literally have goosebumps on my arms because it was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. It was once the Cape Cod said that they were unable to make it happen, we knew, you know, we're still like the little baby of that, you know, the National Alliance. So we were like, if they can't do it, how are we going to do it? There was a couple of leagues that were able to do it, but for the Hamptons in COVID, it was horrible. It was horrible. But I did have a lot of time to do personal things.
Yeah, that's really amazing because, you know, you're able to really take a deep breath and say to yourself, well, this is really different for me. Yeah. But how did you and your family do through quarantine? How are you personally?
Well, I have 3 sons. My oldest son was with his wife in Manhattan, and we brought him home in March.
Yeah.
My youngest was finishing up his senior year of high school and going to Tulane in Louisiana. So my oldest son and his wife ended up staying a full year till they recently moved out. And my youngest son finished high school, finished his year in a COVID pandemic, but was able to go to Tulane and have an amazing year there, which was, we were very fortunate for that. We unfortunately did get COVID in our home, and it did spread like wildfire, and it got quite serious for a little bit, but we managed to all pull through it and got a little closer as a family.
Well, you see, there are some positives to that, and
absolutely,
thank goodness that every single person in your household is doing all right. So, so going back to the 2020 season, with obviously being no season, how did it impact the organization as a whole? Something that is a lot of people, like student athletes in a lot of NCAA colleges, that really rely on the Hamptons Collegiate Baseball League to continue their baseball careers. How was it also for the coaches as well?
When COVID started to hit really bad in the spring, and I remember having a meeting with the Alliance, part of a 13 league alliance. And I'm like, guys, what do we think is going to happen with the pandemic? And they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I think we've got some trouble down the pike. And they're like, no, we'll be okay. And we just watched it drop one by one by one. And unfortunately, the kids were like, but we're okay. Can't we just come play baseball? No, we coach you. Can we do a local team where kids live at home? That's a possibility, but we couldn't get on fields because parks were restricted. Right. I mean, our hands were tied with every corner we tried to do it. So for us, it was just better to just say, guys, you need to stay in shape and be strong for next year. And then when the kids went back to college this year, a lot of the colleges didn't even play this spring. Or they told their freshmen that you can play in fall, but you're not coming back in the spring because we're going to keep our seniors because they have another year of eligibility. So I think it's been a whole It's been so dysfunctional for these poor kids to really not know what to expect, that to be able to say the Hamptons is open. We're sad it's only 6 teams, but we're still able to put, 200 athletes on the field. So we're pretty happy about that.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And obviously, the one team that is being left out this year is the Shelter Island Bucks. They will not be competing this year. And now that 2021 we're here, and obviously we are halfway through the year,
Yeah.
returning from a 720-day, nearly 720-day hiatus. And as you brought up earlier, you get the goosebumps and feeling all of that. Talk about the efforts that you and your entire staff had to go through to get to get all of these players, all 200 student athletes and coaches back on the diamond.
Yeah, so there was a couple of things. Let me start with, first of all, losing Shelter Island. The Shelter Island Bucks is one of our really highlight teams. The island really gets into it, and it's very well attended, and their GM is great on selling ads. And so when he came to us and said, I can't get any housing, I'm like, what do you mean you can't get housing? Like, the island loves the Bucks. He's like, nobody wants to do it. I'm like, but they'll be vaccinated. And he's like, nobody wants to do it. So that was a real upsetting for us, because they are such a core of what we are. We understood, of course. So they will be back next year. I just need to clarify that they're just taking this year off, and their hope is to be able to come back next year. The course of the year has probably been, I have a lot of gray hair, because when you don't do it for a year, believe it or not, like today I got a phone call and they're like, do we have pine tar? I'm like, yeah, I ordered pine tar and I ordered rosin. And like, you have to remember all the things. Yeah. This was our most challenging year to date, even from the inception, which I was involved in. I was the general manager in 2008 and was on the advisory board when the league started. So from 2008 until this year, this has been, without a doubt, my most challenging, stressful, nights of not sleep. People are still not ready to open up their homes to welcome players from other states in. And of course, I would never mandate a vaccine. I can highly recommend you get one, because it's easier to house you if you have one. But if your family is against it, or it's not something you believe in for whatever reason, that is your choice. And that made housing really difficult for us. One team, I won't say which one, I'm going to say that we had some angels looking out for us. A week and a half ago, we were down 12 beds, which is almost half a team. Yeah. So I didn't sleep literally for 3 nights. But as of right now, I just got my last text. The last player is housed. We're good to go. So it's been a very stressful, and we don't have a big team. I have my controller, who's kind of like my left hand, and I have my other co-GM who keeps trying to retire on me. I have him. I keep bringing him back. He's helping with the Whalers too, because they have a new GM. And that's really my core team. And then I have my GMs, of course. Yeah. And I have, a great statistician, Greg Diener. I got to give a shout out to him because he's great. Brett Mauser, who had been with us from the beginning. I decided that having 4 children, very close in age, his wife said, that's it, you're done. So we got a new recruiter out of California, Casey Harms, who's done an outstanding job. But that poor guy, we'd be, okay, we need to put 3 more local kids on that team because we can't get housing. And it was a jigsaw puzzle. Yeah. And it was funny because I had one of the scouts called last night, and he goes, okay, so Madam President, did you do it? And I'm like, yeah, we did it. I don't know how, but we did it. We did it. So we're going to open up on Monday, and I'm shocked. I still can't believe we're going to do it, but we're going to do it.
Now, listen, you said the Angels are looking out.
It's the baseball gods.
That's right. The baseball gods are looking out for you. No doubt about it. So something I just want to clarify to all of those that are watching and are avid Hamptons Collegiate Baseball League fans out there. That was my mistake. Sandi, you are the first president, not the commissioner, the president of the Hamptons Collegiate Baseball League, and also the first female president for a summer collegiate baseball league. Really cool stuff there. Talk about how you got started with this here. In addition, obviously, you started off as a GM years ago, but talk about how Hamptons Collegiate Baseball League for you became a thing.
Yeah, Cape Christian. So Rusty Lever, who had a ranch out in Montauk, literally had a vision of his son
Yeah.
not having to go away during the summer to play baseball, and they were having a challenge getting Mashhashamute Park to agree to give them a lease. And my oldest, I think, was like in 10th grade at the time. That's the one that's married now. And they asked me if I would join and help. My love of baseball really came from my husband and my boys. I was a cheerleader and a gymnast my whole life. So, like, when these guys hear that I've never played baseball, they're like, "Are you sure?" I've coached it, but I've never played it. So I started in 2008 with Rusty to kind of help him get started. It was only one team at that time, and they were part of the HCBL.
Right.
And then we grew into creating our own league, which the HCBL. And what happened is, I think I just got voted in as president because nobody else wanted it. No, uh, I mean, no, I think it was just a natural. It was natural for me to go into that position because I had been doing it the longest. I had two boys that went through both collegiate athletes, both played, in the program.
Right.
And my third son was an actor. He didn't want to do it, and I was like, well, I still want to be involved in baseball because I love baseball. My husband loves baseball, so
Right.
Henry, who was an amazing president, who taught me a lot of what I know, who I still call on a regular basis too, by the way. They were like, it's got to be you. You've got the relationship with Major League Baseball. And I was at all the MLB meetings, at all the conferences. So it was just kind of natural for me to go into that position. And when I got it, and I got to the conference, and I walked into the alliance room by myself with Major League Baseball, and it's literally like 25 men and then me.
Yeah.
But it was fine. It was cool. It's fine. Like,
See?
it just was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
You
was fine.
break barriers, and you're able to really stand tall with all those 25 men. And we
I
speak
did.
about and we
I
s-
hope,
go go ahead, Sandy.
I just want to add one more thing, because I realized, I was having a lot of trouble with housing, and I was getting really depressed, and I was like, okay, I can't do this. Like, let's just end it, because it's really easy to say, let's just not do this. I mean, it's,
Right.
I don't have any kids in the game, and as much as I want to do this, I do this for love. And I had called up the new commissioner of the Cape, and I called up Eric. I said, Eric, I can't do this, man. How you getting housing? Like, how you doing this? He looks at me and he goes, you walk into a room and you control that room and you get things done. You make better deals in that room than we all do combined. And you're calling me? And I'm like, okay. He goes, you can do this. And I'm like, all right, we can do this. Like, that was my pep talk, was from the commissioner of the Cape Cod League. I'm like, okay, if they said I can do it, I have to do it. Like, there's no other option. So we did it. So yeah, I was pretty lucky.
Everyone's looking at you. That's really amazing, though, again, to get the vote of confidence. And exactly what you said too, when we opened up our little conversation here on Baseball's Back, is that the Cape Cod League, you're looking to not be them exactly, but aim towards
Yeah,
their level of stuff. So really, to get that
absolutely.
is really unbelievable. You
Yeah.
we speak about breaking barriers, obviously, and really standing tall in the room with 25 men here. Something that we are going to be breaking on this on Baseball's Back here is that there is, as we had spoken about early on off camera, there is a female baseball player. Yes,
Yeah,
folks,
there
that
is.
really is happening. There is a female baseball player that will be making her debut
Yes.
in the Hamptons Collegiate Baseball League. So, Sandy, now that news has been broken here on the
Yes.
YouTube channel for the Hamptons Collegiate
Yes.
Baseball League, give
Yep.
us a little bit of background of who she is, number one, and
Yep.
two, how she got involved in this, and really, number three, how the spot came about as well.
So last year, Brett Mauser was our recruiting director, and he calls me and he says, I got to talk to you about something. I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he goes, I got offered a catcher from Riviera. I'm like, New Hampshire. He's like, yeah. I said, okay. He said, I think the catcher could do well. I think it's something that we might want to look at. I'm like, I don't recruit. If you want to recruit, go ahead. He goes, well, there's a little tweak to this. And I go, switch hitting catcher? Like, that's awesome. Like, that's a draft.
Yeah.
He's
Or
like,
another Jorge Posada. Let's do it, right? Yeah.
exactly. Like, that's what you want. So I'm like, he's like, no. And I'm like, okay, what do we got? And he goes, she is from British Columbia. And I'm like, wait, what? And he goes, yes. She, at the age of 7, started in T-ball and played with the boys. And when she got to high school, they told her she couldn't play for the boys' baseball team. She tried out. They allowed her to play. And we had gotten a call from a scout who said, this girl's something special. So Brett's like, what do you think? And I'm like, absolutely. And he's like, are you like, but what do you, I said, I think this is amazing. And the best part is not only is she a female, she is a catcher and she throws a little bit. So I got a two-way player going on here. So of course the pandemic hit and she was devastated because we didn't have baseball. And, she goes to, like I said, Riviera College in New Hampshire. And she called up this year and she's like, can I come back? I said, absolutely. Of course I want you to come back. And she's played a full fall season because she was a freshman, played a full fall season on a men's college baseball team as their catcher, which boundary breaking, amazing. So she went back this year to play and she ended up training in Kansas for the last 4 weeks.
Wow.
With a private trainer and workout person to help her with the move. She just got into town. And we're really excited, and she's just, it's definitely going to be, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So I'm pretty proud to say that being the first female president of a summer collegiate baseball team, and now I'm bringing on the first female player. It's 2021, baby. Let's go. That's all I can say.
That's really, really unbelievable. And while we are on the subject, what team will she be suiting up for?
She'll be suiting up for the Sag Harbor Whalers.
Wow.
And,
okay.
Yeah, she's with the Whalers. She's actually living right around the corner from me. She's housed right around the corner from me. She's going to play for the Whalers, and her name is Marika Lisick. She also models as a thing. Yeah, so she's tough. I've seen her. She's tough. I've seen videos. She's very good. So we're very excited.
That's really unbelievable. And
listen,
again,
the Yankees have a hitting coach female. San Fran's got an assistant coach. It's time. It's time. Right. So I'm feeling really good about it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And actually someone that is tied closely with the Eastern Observer as well, Jill Guerin, who was the first female to call a AAA game.
Wow.
Get the females in sports, and they all deserve it. So really, really good stuff there.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So just by looking at opening day is going to be all three games will be beginning at 5 p.m. Eastern time. The Ospreys will be visiting the Whalers. The Sag Harbor Whalers, actually, all the way out in Sag Harbor, New York. That is where the first female player will be getting up to bat, we hope, on the 15th. And then the next game, or there's actually, we did say 3 games going on at 5 p.m. The Breakers taking on the Tomcats at Vet Memorial Park. And then the Clippers and the Aviators will be rounding up day number 1, 5 p.m. Eastern time at Aviator Field. That is going to be a good one because the West Hampton Aviators were the 2019 Hamptons Collegiate Baseball League champions, the 4th time in their inception. So, Sandy, let's conclude this up here, and let's give the viewers, we figure, and even the players and the coaches as well, one final thought, and that would be your message to this year's HCBL whole team. Anything that you'd like to say to them?
I just I sit here and I just say, I'm not sure that it's going to be the prettiest season I've ever put on the field, but we're going to put a season on the field and kids are going to play baseball. And I want them to just go out there, enjoy the moment, learn and have a good time and be good people and give back to the communities. That's what I want.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first female president of a summer collegiate baseball league, Sandi Kruel of the Hamptons Collegiate Baseball League, a member of the National Alliance of College Summer Baseball, funded in part by Major League Baseball. Sandy, thank you so much for joining me here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really looking forward to meeting you in person.
Oh, absolutely.
And, absolutely. And for all of those watching here on the Hamptons Collegiate Baseball League YouTube channel, powered by the Eastern Observer and the Blackjack Media Group, I'm Joey Jarzynka, and we will see you all on opening night from wherever it may be at
Yes.
5 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see you
Great.
next